Simple Tales presents The Forge of Hephaestus, a Greek myth. What happens when the world decides you are not enough? When others look at you and see only your flaws? When the people who should love you first are the ones who reject you? The ancient Greeks believed that greatness is not always born in palaces or battlefields. Sometimes it is forged in fire, hammered into shape through hardship, and strengthened by every blow. This is the story of Hephaestus. Long ago, when the gods ruled from the shining peaks of Mount Olympus, there was born a child unlike any other. He was the son of Hera, queen of the gods. But when she looked upon him, she saw something she did not expect. The child was small. His legs were twisted, his movements were awkward. Among the immortal gods, who valued beauty above almost everything else, he appeared imperfect. Ashamed, Hera made a terrible choice. She cast the infant from Mount Olympus. Down he fell. Past the clouds, past the mountains, past the seabirds wheeling in the sky. For an entire day and night he tumbled through the heavens. At last he struck the sea. The waves swallowed him, but fate had not abandoned him. Two sea nymphs discovered the fallen child and carried him to a hidden grotto beneath the ocean. There they raised him in secret. The young god grew far from Olympus, far from the laughter of the other gods, far from the mother who had rejected him. Yet while others might have grown bitter, Hephaestus became curious. The grotto was filled with strange treasures washed in by the sea. Shells of every shape, glittering stones, fragments of metal carried by distant currents. He spent hours studying them, turning them in his hands, wondering what they could become. Soon he began making things. First simple toys, then delicate ornaments, then marvelous creations unlike anything the world had ever seen. He discovered that metal could be heated until it glowed. It could be bent, shaped, transformed. What others saw as hard and unyielding, he saw as full of possibility. The sea nymphs watched in amazement. Every year, his skill grew. Every year, his creations became more extraordinary. Eventually, Hephaestus built a forge deep within a volcanic mountain. There, surrounded by fire and molten stone, he worked endlessly. The ringing of his hammer echoed through the caverns, day after day, night after night. While the other gods celebrated feasts upon Olympus, Hephaestus mastered his craft, and the forge became his kingdom. Years passed. Then one day, Hephaestus decided to send a gift to Olympus. Not out of love, not out of revenge, but to show what he had become. The gift was a magnificent golden throne. Its surface shimmered like sunlight upon water. Its carvings were so beautiful that even the gods gasped in wonder. When the throne arrived, Hera was delighted. She sat upon it immediately. The moment she did, invisible chains sprang from the throne. They wrapped around her arms, her legs, her waist. No matter how hard she struggled, she could not escape. The gods rushed forward. They pulled. They pushed. They tried every trick they knew. Nothing worked. Only the Creator could release the trap. Only Hephaestus. The gods quickly realized they needed the very sun they had once cast aside. One by one, they journeyed to his forge. They begged, they bargained, they pleaded, but Hephaestus refused. Years of pain cannot be erased with a few polite words. Finally, Dionysus, the god of wine and celebration, visited the forge. Unlike the others, he came as a friend. He sat beside Hephaestus, shared stories, shared laughter, and listened. For perhaps the first time, someone truly listened. When Dionysus finally asked him to return, Hephaestus agreed, not because Olympus deserved it, but because carrying anger forever is another kind of chain. The gods watched nervously as Hephaestus entered Olympus. Many had never seen him before. The child they remembered was gone. In his place stood a master craftsman whose skill rivaled the imagination of the gods themselves. He approached the throne, touched it lightly, and the chains vanished. Hera stood free. For a long moment, mother and son looked at one another. Neither spoke. Some wounds take longer to heal than others, yet from that day forward, Hephaestus took his place among the Olympians. Not because he was the strongest, not because he was the most beautiful, but because he possessed something rarer. He could create. Within his forge, he crafted wonders beyond imagination. He forged the thunderbolts of Zeus, the armor of heroes, golden chariots, living statues made of bronze, weapons that changed the course of legends. Whenever gods or mortals required something impossible, they came to Hephaestus, and time after time he found a way. His forge became one of the greatest wonders in all mythology. The fire never died, the anvils never cooled, and the sound of the hammer never ceased. For Hephaestus understood something few others did. Perfection is not what makes something valuable. A sword becomes strong because it survives the fire. Metal becomes beautiful because it endures the hammer. And people often become extraordinary because of the hardships they overcome. The ancient Greeks never forgot the lesson hidden within the story. The gods admired beauty, but they depended upon skill. They celebrated power, but they relied upon wisdom. And the child, who had once been thrown from heaven, became one of the most respected beings in all Olympus. Not despite his struggles, but because he refused to let those struggles define him. Thank you for listening to Simple Tales. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more timeless folk tales from around the world. Until next time, another tale awaits.